Friday, December 28th, and it is extremely cold today. Or not extremely cold, but quite a bit colder than it's been the last week or so. We were having highs in the 60s and lows in the 40s, and right now it's 30, which is not terribly cold for here in the winter, but it's kind of a shocking change from what we've had the last few days. Sorry, my hair is disorganized this morning. I am waiting on my car to warm up and my windows to defrost, and I'm going to go take care of my dog sitting duties, and then we are meeting my collaborator Don Higgins and his wife Janie, and I are meeting the gentleman that knows where the rock art site is on Crow Mountain, and we're going to go view that and get some photographs and do a little bit of measurements. I've got a student that's looking for a research credit in the spring, and I thought maybe kind of examining this site and doing some measurements on it might be useful. They believe, a lot of people believe, that it's a solar calendar of some kind, which would not be unusual, but it does have to meet certain criteria to be a solar calendar, in that it must track when the sun is at certain points in the sky. So I'm going to send a student of mine, if it looks like a promising site, to talk to this gentleman. The only sticky wicket is that it's on private property, and supposedly this man has permission to be on this property. So I guess we're about to find out if he does or not. So actually the property was owned by one of my former professors when I was in college at Arkansas Tech, and he had written some thoughts about the property, about what he thought it was. And we do know that during the time of the conquistadors that DeSoto traveled to Arkansas because he wrote about hot springs. He wrote about the thermal springs at Hot Springs, and those are the only ones in this part of the country. So we know that he made it that far. There are some people who believed that he made it this far north into the state. And so, be that as it may, I want to just go examine it for face value and look for the fact that it's a solar calendar. Of course, if you read on the internet, there's all sorts of theories out there proposed about what this site is, and some of them can be quite fantastical. And I'm an open-minded person as far as beliefs go, but extraordinary claims require extraordinary proof, and right now I haven't seen any extraordinary proof yet. So I'm curious to go look at the site and see, do I think it's a solar calendar? It could very well likely be, but beyond that, some of the more fantastical claims I'm going to have to reserve judgment on until I see more evidence of what's going on there. After that, I've got, my usual farm chores, and then there is a PokemonGo special EX raid today in Russellville that I got an invitation to, so that's this afternoon, and I'll drive up for that. And then as I'm coming back, I'll go ahead and take care of the dogs in the other town, since that'll be on my way home. There's no point in me coming home and then going back. So not going to get a lot done today in terms of stuff here, because just the way this day is broken up. Tomorrow, hopefully, I can get some housekeeping done and things of that nature. I do hope this afternoon, though, I can get my packages that I've got ready in the mail. That would be really good if I could do that. So we'll just see how the day pans out, and then on Sunday, my hope is the weather will be fair enough that I can get out and work on the chicken coop roof and prune the fruit trees and clean out from underneath the rabbit cages. I had asked the neighbor who I'm taking care of the dog if I could get her husband to come look at this hole in the roof, simply because I'm pretty sure I know what I need to do to fix it, but I'm not absolutely sure, and I would like a second, more informed opinion before I go to putting stuff up there and making the problem worse. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at today. Nothing too terribly exciting, just the usual feeding and watering and then these extra things. But I'll try to take some footage when we go down to the rock art site, especially, and then we'll go from there. So let's get started with this 28th day of Vlogmas. Another good Southern tradition is on New Year's Day we eat hog jowl and black-eyed peas. So you got to pick some of that up for some good luck. So this is Crow Mountain Petroglyph. Is that what this side is called?
It is. We're almost exactly north-south.
Uh-huh. Whoa, careful. Be careful. Yeah, that rock means business.
Can't even set the compass down on it. Because it's not level. So any staff that goes in here is gonna
cast some kind of a shadow.
Cast a shadow this way, you know, like right now.
Yeah.
Near the winter solstice, we're near winter solstice.
Yeah.
It's going the other way, so you know it'd have to be a sunset thing, wouldn't it?
I would think so. Yeah.
And if there was a staff in any of these things, you know, there would be 3 settings to do something.
Because these are still going to line up at the same angle with the same sunrise and sunset, unless they put it this way, and this, like, you've got the different where it would hit the staffs.
So if you had a staff here, then clearly something would make a shadow on that.
Yeah.
Line. If you had it here,
it would be more.
Maybe, I don't know, an edge of that.
Yeah. But maybe it marks like a period of time where because the solstice sunset's going to be roughly in that direction, isn't it? That's because that's south. So I definitely think it has the potential to be some kind of a solar calendar. Yeah. It's just, it would require, I would need to come back over several different days. But like if you're standing here looking at this arrow lines up right through these dots, through that top slot and into that series of things up there.
Right here doesn't have a very standard width, but the bottom dot is 2 centimeters. The bottom dot, see that? 2 centimeters. Yeah. I'm betting they're all close because I think he did it with a star drill. Yep, the middle one is 1.9 centimeters. That could be the same tool. And the top one is 2 centimeters. The crossbar of the arrow on the right hand side is about 2.4 centimeters. The top rib here on the right hand side is 2.5. And everything else is close to that.
Mm-hmm. Good boy, Willie. Willie, Willie, Willie. The oven. That was the oven. We had the oven on a self-cleaning cycle and the house is all smoky now. Oh, goodness. It's a good boy. Willie, I love you. I love you. Well, I'm up here waiting on the PokemonGo EX raid to start. But as I was leaving the house, I checked my mail and I got my My prize from the Happy Knits podcast, Yolanda, did a 12 Days of Christmas cow where you could enter anything as long as it was more than 50 grams of yarn. And then she drew for prizes 12 days in a row. And I actually donated some patterns as prizes, and I've already given one of them away. I haven't heard from the other winner yet, so I guess I need to contact her and find out. But I won a prize with my Happiness Blooms from Within shawl that Miss Mary sent me the yarn for, so it was like super awesome that I won. I got a sample of some Eucalan wool wash, which I use Eucalan already, so this, I know I like it. This is a different fragrance to what I have, so I'll get to try out a new fragrance. I got a set of crochet hooks, and you can never have too many of those. Always need more crochet hooks. Then she sent me some little stitch markers and progress keepers. There's a couple of there's a little ball of yarn in there and a couple of little sheep, and then some of the little light bulb ones that I like. And I got a cool bag. And I like what this bag says, strive for progress, not perfection. And I think that's a great motto in life, to strive for progress, not perfection. And then I won 2 skeins of yarn. I won 2 skeins. These are from Knit Crate. These are the Audine wools, A-U-D-I-N-E, Audine, maybe, I don't know, Audine. It's a DK wool, which is nice. It's 50% alpaca, 30% merino, and 20% nylon. And it's got a really pretty halo on it. So I'm anxious to make something out of that. It's very super soft, so I'm anxious as can be to make something out of that. I did not get my packages mailed. I started cleaning my oven, and it filled my house with smoke. Which, you know, if I thought that all the way through, I would have known it was going to do that. But at any rate, the dogs were all upset because the smoke alarm kept going off. And so I stuck around the house while that was going on just to make sure nothing untoward happened. So I did not get away in time to mail my packages today. But I might be able to mail them in the morning. Our little local post office is open for a couple of hours on Saturday morning. So maybe I can get away in time to get those mailed when I get around tomorrow morning. And if not, I'll mail them on Monday when I'm not having to worry about driving back and forth to take care of the dogs. So yeah, and I just got through listening to Maria's from Ninja Chicken's podcast, and she was talking about the feeling of not being able to do everything like as a homesteader, and I have definitely bumped up against that feeling a lot. You know, and she made a lot of sense. You know, used to when people lived off the land, there was community where people shared things, and there was nobody that really was able to go it alone for 100% of everything that they needed to be successful. And I think that that's a good thing to bring up, because sometimes we get overwhelmed and thinking we should be able to do it all, and you can't work a 40-hour week and have anything going on as far as social life or like volunteerism like I do, and then be able to do all these things. And you just can't do all those things anyway. You can't make all your own clothes and spin your own wool and cook your own food and bake your own bread and make your own medicine and make your own soap and make your own candles. It's just not physically possible to get everything done. So you do what you can. I like acquiring the skills and knowing that I can do those things, but I also don't mind supporting other people who are the makers. Now our community is worldwide thanks to the internet, and we find people who have those skills, and we either trade with them or we trade money for their products. But anyway, so I liked what she had to say about that. So I'm going to sit here and work on my sock while I'm waiting for the EX raid to start. I had a friend who approached me about buying some ground beef. They have bought beef from me before, so I am reluctantly selling them the last of my ground beef for my steer for this year. But they are good friends and good customers, so I don't mind doing that. And I appreciate the fact that they seek me out because they like the product that I have to offer. You know, raising animals, as we've talked about before, is a sacred duty, and it is not easy. It's not an easy job, but I think part of the taste difference comes from the care that the animals receive and the respect that they are given. But yeah, anyway, we've talked about that before, and I don't want to get off on that tangent today. So I'm going to sit here and work on my sock and wait on the EX raid to start. A little video real quick. So we're here at the EX raid, and these are my PokemonGo friends.
Hello.
Jane and Kendall and Jeremy and Linda and her daughter and a bunch of other people, and Maureen's back there. So we're fixing to do some Pokemon Go. And see, I told you everybody that played was like old people like me. Well, I'm still in town because I need to kill a little bit more time before I go take care of Nicole's dogs. And I'm in our little downtown area because there's going to be a legendary raid here, so I thought I'd walk around and show you some of the Christmas lights. So this is a little depot, downtown depot area. They've kind of done a revitalization of the area down here and put in like some coffee shops and things like that. But they've got some pretty Christmas lights down here, so I thought I'd show you. Too bad it's not a little bit darker where they would look nicer. They have a lot of, like, there's a farmer's market down here, and then they have the art walk once a quarter where they have music, and the musicians put their, or the artists put their stuff out, and they close the downtown area off where people can walk around. It's really kind of cool. And there's galleries and coffee shops and things like that over here. And that little deer fell down. Guess it got tired. It's really kind of pretty the way they've got it fixed up. Anyway, so yep, this is our depot. This is our downtown depot area. And there's Pokestops down here, so that's why I'm down here. There's a gym here that's fixing to have a legendary raid. So I figured I'd kill some time before I went and took care of Nicole's dogs. Then these train cars are parked here. And on the other side of it is a restaurant. It's a local restaurant called Stobie's. And they've actually converted some of the train cars into the restaurant, which is kind of cool. It's getting a little darker now. The lights look ahead show up a little bit better. Little penguins. Penguins building in an igloo. Horse and buggy down here. And then that's the Sugar Creek ice cream place. Well, Well, I'm home and all the dogs are tucked in. All my dogs are tucked in. I have been working on my socks, going up the leg here as you can see. Going to work on those some more tonight and call this day an end on my Vlogmas. So I hope you guys are all having a good day, and until I see y'all again, y'all be good to each other and take care of each other, and peace out, y'all. See you tomorrow. Bye.